Hello everyone, welcome to the show, Speak Out with Antonio. I am your host, Antonio, and today we're talking about dating. Dating from the beginning, 10 years ago, to dating now. We talk to an amazing group of people that give awesome feedback.
I first started dating at the age of, I want to say 18, but I can't even be honest and say, because I didn't really believe that dating at a young age was possible and a real thing that you would take serious with school and other things you would have happening in your life. So the first time I started seriously dating was like at 22.
Well, I wasn't really actually dating. When I turned 18, I just jumped right into it. I had a crush on a guy and he was irresistible to me, so I started going with him like right off the break. So we just went together, we lived together, we worked together, we went to school together, and we always spent every day together for 2.5 years. So I just jumped right in. I didn't really have that dating situation.
So my dating style at that time was very much, we chat on Facebook and you like me, I like you. And a very common issue nowadays is we live thousands of miles apart. So our sense of dating was very virtual at the time. And then he visited me in New York at the time when I was in school. And we did go on a date. I do believe in going on dates like at restaurants to get to know a person. I don't believe in going on dates at the movies because you can't talk during a fucking movie. So how do you really get to know the other person? So yeah, we went to like an Olive Garden. I felt fancy at the time. But from that conversation, I knew that it was something that was gonna go further.
I know some people say on a first date, the person that asks should pay for the date. But I also feel like, shoot, just because they ask, you might get there and completely dislike this person. And I'll be like, look, I'm ready to get up out of there immediately. So I want to be able to ask for the check and be gone. Because you could get up there and never seen this person, be catfish, and you get up there and it be somebody you just not into. I think that, I guess the answer to the question is, I preferably to go like Dutch on the first date, just because I know, you ain't got to really worry about, I hope this person don't order too much food because I don't got enough money. Or, I just always think that is.
I never really had any crazy type of outrageously bad date. But I did have a date that was like, the whole time from the very beginning, I was like, why did I even come here? It was dry. I kept on trying to initiate conversation and it was like he wasn't picking up where I was, and I'm just like, oh, and then his first question was, and it just created a bad atmosphere, was, so, where are you going with this? What's your intentions here? I'm like, I'm just going on a date with somebody that I have an interest in. I don't really have intentions, I'm just trying to get to know you. And I felt like my answer because I didn't solidify that I'm like trying to make you my man. And that very moment, I'm like, we're just going on dates. He was kind of already like, oh, well, you wasting my time. And I'm just gonna focus on the other person that I'm going on dates with. It was awkward, it was quiet, and no amount of booze made that date any fun. And his, oh my God. So I remember I was gonna take him out skating. And as soon as we got to the ice skating rink, he was like, it's cold outside. I ain't doing this. And I was just like, I tried to do something out of the box, and here you are shutting it down before you even tried. And things like that, when you run into walls like that, it's kind of like, I don't think this is for me.
The worst date?
The worst date I've been on.
Oh, I went to the movies with this one guy. And he had all his friends with him. This shit was so crazy, and it was like girls. So that was very uncomfortable for me to be downtown Chinatown.
What, females, real girls?
No, girls, boys, girls, flamboyant, light-skinned girls at that.
Oh, okay.
It was a mess.
Oh, wow.
It was horrible. That was the worst for me.
Yeah, let's see, a worst date for me. Okay, I was supposed to meet up with this guy. back then, of course, it was over 10 years ago. This was back in 2004. Before Facebook, before all that stuff, it was the chat line on the phone when you meet people. So the guy was, describing himself, and of course in person, it was nothing like what he described himself over the phone. So, we met on the bus, and
I think we talking about two different kind of dates here. What kind of dates you talking about?
It was a date, Well, okay, we didn't get to the date because when I seen him, I'm like, oh nah, this is crazy. So I left him cause the bus was crowded. So, I left him on the back of the bus, and and he was, he stayed on the bus. So later that day, he texted me and was like, that was really messed up. You could have told me, I wasn't your type, or, I wasn't what you was looking for. Don't have me doing all this, and then, you gonna leave me. So I guess my worst date, we didn't get to go on a date, because when I seen him in person, I'm like, no, just not about to happen.
But y'all,
they told me that their cousin had seen a picture of me in their phone, and they wanted to go out on a date with me. And I'm like, okay, fine. So we made the exchange, and the person, I won't say their name, came, and they picked me up from my house in New York, in Brooklyn, and we went to some soul food restaurant downtown Brooklyn, and we were talking. Date was absolutely great. Like, the conversation was great, nice looking person, nice smile, all of that X, Y, and Z, all of that was there. And so I asked the question, because I'm like, something just gotta be a little off. Great job, all of this. And I said, so why are you single? That was a question I asked. I don't know why I asked, but I did. And his response was, I'm not. And I'm like, what you mean? I'm not. And so he and that things are not going the way that I want them to go. Now, because I rode with him, I couldn't just get up and walk away, and I was still fairly new to the transit system in New York. So I did complete the date, but I didn't too much talk to them again.
First, when going on a date, that doesn't mean that y'all start claiming each other. I will also say that I might get attacked for this one, but don't date exclusively. In the very beginning, you're dating because you're getting to know people. And that doesn't necessarily mean being exclusive casually, sex-wise, or being exclusive casually with your heart. You're getting to know somebody. Now, of course, as that relationship develops and you start getting to know them and you realize this is somebody you want to make something with, that's when you start cutting shit off. I don't need JoJo and Daquan from down the street anymore. I don't need to keep having sexual intercourse with this person. I don't need to have any romantic and emotional attachments with this person, because now my focus is here. And you're not going to be present here if you still got A and B.
The first date for me would allow me to get that person talking and to really dig into who they are.
I don't think that sex should be involved in dating, but I'm not making a break it. For me, if I know something's, when I'm trying to decide if something is real or not, I don't want to have sex really. With my fiance currently, we waited 8 months before we actually had sex in the dating process. And some people are like, how? Well, I mean, we were still fucking other people. But we were focused on each other when it comes to romance and dating. And so that's what I believe in. I think once you have sex with a person, a lot of times you feel like, okay, I got what I wanted and I can move the other way. So you got to create a sense of cat chase mouse, something that's challenging. And if you get everything so soon, you're gonna leave.
I was at a 7-Eleven in Eastern Market, and he walked past on the outside. I was on the inside. I was with my sister, and I was like, there you go. He was like, perfect. Everything that I ever looked for in a dude, or his appearance wise, because I didn't know him, I'd never seen him before. And so my sister kind of introduced us to each other, and then we've been
And it's
We
funny.
started talking. This was in 2005.
Yeah, over 10 years ago. And we met at the same place I mentioned earlier, at Smiles. Yeah, which is a local organization in the DC area for LGBT youth.
For young kids. 'Cause
Yeah,
I wasn't
for
supposed to
young
be there.
kids.
Because
Yeah.
I'm a little older.
But I mean, okay. But yeah, but that's how we met, so.
Like, if we went out to like a pier or something like that, like I like doing something that's different. Because I don't get out that much. So the smaller things to me means the most to me. So just spending genuine time with somebody, getting to know somebody, like being up all night talking is really refreshing. It's refreshing, and we don't get to experience that nowadays because everybody be on a lot of different things. But doing activities like bowling and paintballing and stuff like that is really fun, so you can interact with our friends too, and then we can just have a good time and relax and let loose and be free.
Yeah, even picnics or here in the DMV.
Because you don't want to be so bottled up that we be nervous or what to say. You gotta let loose and be comfortable.
Right. Yeah.
Doing stuff, activities is really good for me.
I definitely don't think that you need to have any expectations on your first date. You should not have any. Like, what are you putting expectations on somebody you do not know? The only expectation you should have, and I know, is that person shows up, I guess, because I'm serious, is that person shows up. Because if you already beat and had all of these expectations of this person, and if they don't fulfill them, then the date was terrible, this didn't go right. So I just, as long as they say they're gonna show up. Everything else I will measure as we go along, because otherwise you're setting yourself and them up, and it could be unfair. You expect them to make $1 million and they work at McDonald's. It just ain't, you just set yourself up for a major disappointment.
A major turn off for me doing the date is, and I'm guilty of this myself, being on the phone. I try to make it my mission to put my phone to the side during the date. That way I know that you know that you have my attention. And some people don't do that. They kind of be like scrolling on Facebook, taking pictures of food, and you're taken away from the actual moment. I also don't like when someone on the date literally acts like everybody they dated did them wrong. I'd be like, so bitch, it's just them and it's never you, and you consistently run into the same issues. Yeah, you need to do some reflecting. And I realized people like that aren't ready to move forward in the dating process because they still haven't put two and two together that somewhere along the line, whether it's pathological or not, I'm the problem. If you keep running into abusive niggas, if you keep running into people that did you wrong or always lying to you, maybe you aren't worthy of the truth. Or maybe you're judgmental. It's not one answer, but sometimes you really have to do some reflecting on your own. And I don't like when people make a date about their recent ex. That's a major turn off for me because I'm like, baby, you still in love. This might not be the right time for this.
I hate people that always want to talk, but when you try to interact with them in conversation, they always want to talk over you.
Okay.
I hate that. Is so irritating.
Me too.
I'll be so over it after that.
I guess the cell phone thing, yes, people getting their cell phones. That, maybe that's just that, because I really don't have no time.
Yeah, they be so much into the relationship. They be looking in the future. Like, we haven't even got through this day, and you already talking about us being in the whole relationship already.
Yeah, that
like
is true.
crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know where that comes from.
Yeah, people get
Turn-offs could be, like I've had somebody ask me how much money I make. Like, that was like, I'm like completely turned on, gold digger type of thing. So that was my whole, that was a big turn-off for me.
The top bottom verse question, wow, that actually used to be a major thing for me. I guess because I did not experience that in my recent relationship. It wasn't a thing, but I do recall that being a major thing. I understand it. Because if I'm a top and you're a top, and we going on this date and we filling out each other, and then we realize we like each other, and then later in life we realize, oh yeah, we both tops. Now what do you do? But I feel like you should let that conversation happen organically. The first date is probably not the time. And I think usually you can base somebody's sexual position off the energy that you receive. And I know that sounds extreme, but let's say I know somebody that is primarily a top, and they dating me, and our energies just seem to be connected, and now in some way or manner he sees me as somebody that he would let top him. So even though he identifies as a top, now with me he may be verse or verse top. It's kind of hard to reduce people to their labels. So I think we should steer away from them for the most part.
The question to ask on a first date. Now, if you guys get past that first date, on, other dates, yeah, I think that, your sexual position, your sexual roles need to come up. So, just to make sure, both of y'all are not tops, two tops going together or two bottoms going together. Because once it gets to that full relationship and you guys, and then, you guys are not satisfying each other sexually.
Well, so speaking from experience, because I've been in relationships with that where we didn't have that conversation in the beginning. So now we're feeling each other and we live together, but we wasn't having sex. So it was weird in the beginning. But after a while, y'all compromise or y'all do things to satisfy the other.
I don't think, I guess when I talked about my worst date, we were already at the end of the date by then. But to say, if the date is going bad, I'm not one to just get up and walk away. I think I do have some friends that would do that and probably strongly suggest. But I think I would like to see the date all the way through to give that person the fair opportunity to come back or make up, for where they lacked or where they messed up at. I'm not one. And I guess it depends on how bad it's going. Because sometimes it just might just be like, look, this ain't gonna work. We just gonna stop this right here. We're not even gonna let you get any further because you've already done enough. Not another minute. Check, please.
Now, if it's important to you, ask. They may be on the same page. It's no one answer. If you are a person that cannot stomach dating another bottom, ask questions. Ask things that matter to you. If sex is that important to you, ask.